Now let's talk about another test, which also allows you to compare means of the populations by knowing means of the samples. But in this case, it's a new method, it's a new test, and it works a little bit in a different way. You can find out in the literature that this test is actually a generalization of t-test for the case where you have more than two groups. Okay, so the idea is following: if we have more than two groups and more than one, for example, grouping factors? So instead of just two rivers, we would like to compare 3 or 4 rivers. And for example, we would like to compare them in winter and summertime. Maybe in winter time there is no difference, but in summertime the concentration of chloride will be different. In this case, one of the best tests you can use is called ANOVA, or analysis of variance. Okay. ANOVA usually is supplemented by another test, which is called the Toki's test. We are going to discuss the Toki's test in some next videos. But the idea is following. First of all, they are all statistical tests. So it means that we have a null hypothesis, and null hypothesis is no effect. It means there is no difference between average values of the groups. And then we need to calculate a statistic that tells how extreme our sample is. In t distribution it was t statistics, t-score. In ANOVA it will be another statistic. And then the idea is the same. This statistic follows certain distribution. Then we can use this distribution to estimate a chance that we got these statistics randomly, or indeed we have a systematic difference between the groups. Okay. There are different types of ANOVA. For example, if you have only one grouping factor, it's called one-way ANOVA. It makes a lot of things easier. But if you have more than one factor, it's called n-way ANOVA. But in fact, I'll show you some calculations. Actually, the difference is not very large. I will explain how ANOVA works using pen casting. So I'll show you a couple of cases and all calculations manually. And then later we will use MATLAB to see if indeed all calculated values were correct. So we can just compare manual calculations with what MATLAB does.